Hello, friends. It's not Jay today. Sorry, guys. Sorry to burst your bubble. But on the plus side, it's me instead. And that could be good enough as well. Hello, hello, everyone, all of you early birds. Thank you for showing up. Arcana, hello.
Tasty, tasty.
Visionaire, hello. One Creative Mind, Pennywise, hello, hello. OEW, hello. And Tyranny. I see what you did there. Hello, hello, friend. We get you, no bubbles to verse. That's right. It's gonna be a good stream too. I'm actually really excited for this build. Hopefully you guys are as well. I'm a little early, so I'll give it a few to let people kind of come in, and I can kind of explain some of the things that are going on. But thank you for being here already. I appreciate all of you. Your beard is looking beautiful today. Thank you. It looks wild, like it always does. I keep wanting to get it trimmed, and I'm like, oh man, but there's something I kind of like it too. Kind of like it. Adam, hello. J-Shop, thank you so much for the bubbles, man. By bubbles, I mean bits. Bubble bursting bits. Thank you so much. You're too kind, my friend. You're too kind. This is gonna be a fun build, though. I was lubing switches the other day for this build, and it was one of those lubing sessions, you guys know, where you get a few switches in, and you kind of go back and you check your work and you feel and see how you're doing so far, and it felt really good. So I'm very excited for this, especially in such a cool board. I know everyone's probably tired of Iron 165s now, seeing about 80 billion of them built, but that was months and months and months ago. You guys clearly need a Iron 165 build stream refresher course. Iron 165 never gets old. I completely agree. It's a great board. Great board with a lot of good effort and design behind it, and some awesome genuine people as well. Time to run another charity event so we can trim that up. Actually, I was gonna ask you if you wanted to do something again similar like you did last time, because I felt like that was actually relatively successful. I'm definitely down to participate in charity events. I have a couple planned as well, a couple of giveaways and a couple like incentives and stuff, which should be pretty cool for charity events coming soon. I just need to get around to like actually planning it. I need more hours in the day. Well, that's not always true. Sometimes I just procrastinate. That's just me sometimes, unfortunately. I was growing my hair out too, but got too hot and cut it off. I was thinking about it. I mean, we had like a record-breaking day just the other day, a record-breaking couple of days, I think, even. And I was really regretting having both hair and facial hair those days. So I kind of feel you. I'm surprised I didn't just grab my clippers and just take everything off. But man, I look pretty rough without facial hair. I'll be honest. The beard hides all like the 40 chins. See, I'm overweight, so you know you gotta have a beard to cover up the extra chins. You guys probably don't know. You guys are all in shape. Twitch chat always in shape, you know. Adam never gets tired of irons either. Awesome. Don't give up. I'll probably keep growing it for a while. I don't know. I want to trim it. I want to keep growing it, but I want to kind of maybe even it out just a little bit, clean it up a little bit, take care of the lines a little bit. The hair, I have no idea what I'm doing with. I just keep growing it out, and like it kind of looks less dumb than it did a couple months ago. So progress, I suppose. You guys got water nearby, right? Making sure to stay hydrated, especially if you're amidst all this ridiculous heat. Actually, it's not too bad right now. It's quite reasonable. It's about 48 degrees cooler than it was a couple days ago, so I guess I shouldn't complain. And by 48, I mean like 38. Because numbers are hard. Is everything looking good and sounding good, guys? Is the music too loud or too quiet? Definitely let me know before I get started here. Good evening, Nebulan. How you doing, my friend? It's fine. AV's good. Awesome. That's what I like to hear. Looks good. Sounds good. Nice. 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 All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of casually start this with a bit of an apology, actually. So I want to apologize for two things, actually. The first being, I'm sorry this stream wasn't on Monday. I really have been trying to just do the mental health Mondays and target that time, and I was fully ready to stream. However, like I was just talking about a moment ago, it was outrageously hot here. I think on Monday it got up to 109, 112 in some places around my area, and that is just ridiculous, unfortunately. And I just couldn't be in my office. If I ran my computer in my office, it would have been at least 100 degrees in here. I would have been quite literally pouring sweat, and it would not have been a good time for anyone. And that's assuming none of my equipment overheated. So I just decided to cancel that day and try for another day. Checked out the weather the upcoming week, and saw that today was supposed to be pretty reasonable. So that is why I am live today instead of Monday. So I apologize for that, but hey, we still made it within the week. We're still going strong. I'm trying to hold myself accountable, and it's gonna be it's good stuff, guys. It's good stuff. Travis, what's up, man? Says, oh my good dude, you didn't melt here either. Yeah, no, it was crazy. You're up in I don't want to dox you actually, but I know you're not too far from me if I recall, like 45 or 60 minutes. It was nuts, man. And you know, like bigger guys like us, you know, we don't do heat. We don't do heat, my man. It's rough. Glad to see that that you made it as well. Hopefully, we don't have any more like really highly unusual freak heat waves over here. But hey, we got through it at least. Should have bottled and sold the sweat as switch lube. I don't think my sweat would be very good as lube. That seems to be like the I feel like that's like the opposite of lube, is it not? Duck butter. Indigo, hello, how you doing, my friend? So anyways, yes, that's the first thing I wanted to apologize for. But hopefully better late than never, and hopefully this build will make up for it, because this build is going to be stellar in my mind, I think. I feel like this is going to be pretty stellar, but we'll see what happens. The second thing I want to apologize for is, I think it was last week on Monday, I said that I was going to be building on the following stream my Heine TKL1. That kind of went awry, which is why I'm not building it today. And basically what happened is I had some Milky Top Gateron Blacks set aside that I was planning to use for my Heine TKL1 as kind of an homage to Heine, because he's a big fan of the Milky Top Gaterons. That's just kind of his thing, especially on the FR4 plate, which I have. So I was going to try to kind of do like a bit of an homage to of course, the designer and inventor of the board. Shout out to Heinebush. So I was going to do that, but I got like 10 switches in. I started lubing switches. I get about 10 switches in, and I was like, man, I'm just not happy with these. They're not feeling very good. They felt really bad stock, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know if it's just a bad batch or maybe too late of a batch. But man, they are just not good. So I was like, well, I'm not going to take, weeks and weeks to break these in and hopefully get them better and then lube them. I'm just going to use something else. And so I basically scrapped that, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do my Heine TKL. And then I started lubing, I got the Anubis switches in, which is what I'm going to be using today. And I got those in, and I felt one, and I was like, well, that's quite interesting. So I decided I wanted to use these as soon as possible. So I started lubing these up, and I was like, well, what the heck am I going to put these in? I think I want a stiff plate, I want gaskets. And my Iron 165 was just sitting there, and I was like, heck yeah, man, that's going to be a great place for these switches. Brass plate, gasket mount, the works. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But if anyone's wondering, I kind of just scrapped the Gateron Blacks, and I'm going to be using lavenders in my Heine TKL1. I think the lavenders will actually be an interesting kind of colorway contrast with the lilac Heine TKL. Should go pretty well together. And plus, if I'm being honest, I think the lavenders are probably just a better switch anyways. Regardless, I'm going to be using some 58 gram symmetrical springs in there which should be pretty cool. Symmetrical springs also being featured here today for the first time on Top Clack. I feel like not a lot of people, streamers in particular, have built with a lot of the symmetrical springs yet, so definitely interested in being able to check those out, as well as a couple new things. So not only are the switches brand new and brand new to me, but obviously so are the springs, like I was just mentioning. And this was also the first time that I used the Carbon GS1 lube. This is from Kinetic Labs. He very kindly and generously sent me that along with a bunch of other stuff a while back. I unboxed it on stream, but I just never really got around to using the lube, which I said I was going to do. So I finally got around to doing that, and if you're not familiar, Carbon GS1 is a very light grease. So it is a grease, it's not an oil, but for all intents and purposes, I gotta be honest, it kind of acts and applies like an oil. Which was cool for me, because I know everyone's all about greases and 205 grade 0, yada 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 these days, but for me, I've always been an oil guy. It's always been about the oil, especially things like GPL 105 has just been an absolute classic banger for me on pretty much everything I put it on. So I was happy to see that the Carbon GS1 actually performed a lot less like a grease, a lot more like an oil. With that said, it still had a lot of the same effects of kind of a lighter oil almost, in which it didn't really do an amazing job of covering up imperfections in the way something like 205 grade 0 would, which is kind of like cheater mode. You put that on anything, it becomes smooth. But it does tend to change the feel quite a bit, which is why I tend to lean towards the lighter greases and oils. Nice. So yeah, so that's my thought on that. Pretty happy with the way the GS1 came out. I can't wait to use more of it in the future, but so far my suggestion on that lube is to use it on switches that are already pretty smooth. So pretty much all of your like JWK offerings, you know, things like Zeal's lineup, maybe some like Inks or some of the smoother Gatorons, but I would probably not use this lube on things like your standard line of Gatorons or pretty much any cherry switch. I would probably avoid and kind of use some of the older, thicker, smoother, creamier classics, if you know what I'm saying. Langolandia, hello. Glad to see you in chat, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I'm a little behind on chat. I'm sorry, guys. I've been like ranting about. I've been so excited for these. I've been so freaking excited. So this should be pretty cool. So yeah, obviously, guys, if you have any questions at all pertaining to the build, the switches, you know, the keyboard, or just me or whatever, feel free to ask away. I try to be an open book, especially on these mental health streams. So heck yeah, guys. Hope you're all doing super duper well. Miss you too, Lang. Glad you were able to pop in, though. So can't stay long, but I had to pop in and say hi. I appreciate that, man. Hearts to you. Hope you and the family are doing well. Iwane, thank you so much for the Prime. 23 months. Pennywise, thank you for the 14 months. Appreciate that, guys. Jugo, thank you. I think I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Thank you so much for the 3 months. Appreciate that. Static Age says, today was a rough day for mental health news. Poor Minterly. That has to be hard to deal with. What happened with Minterly, if I may ask? I haven't seen or heard about this yet. I really don't hope it's bad news, but I get the feeling it is. So that's not very cool. Minterly is a great person, by the way. She definitely. I talked a little bit with her when I was going through some mental health issues, and she kind of helped me out a bit. She tried to commit suicide, and she's been in the hospital since. Oh, that's not how I wanted to start this stream. She posted on Insta though? Okay. That's not what we want to hear. She is a great person. She's absolutely amazing. She does a lot for the community too. She's awesome. That's a big bummer to hear that. hopefully we'll try to have a good positive stream despite that. But obviously let's try to make sure we can send her some positive vibes, and hopefully we can not have that happen again. You can take a quick break if you want, if the news is hitting you hard. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I mean, we could take a minute too. That's fine. I mean, I have a lot of good memories with Minterly. She's awesome. We've had a lot of great conversations. We've done charity events together. Like she's awesome. The important thing is that she's getting the help that she needs. That's awesome. Okay, cool. I obviously, since I just learned about this, I have no idea what the follow-up is currently looking like, and I don't want to pry too much, obviously, for a variety of reasons. But if she's getting the help she needs, that's great. I'll reach out to her after the stream, see if maybe I can do something. All right, let's all just relax, take a deep breath, sip of water if you have to, of course. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to hear because it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't even that long ago that we lost Mountain Blocks to suicide, and he was such a bright shining star in the hobby, right? Like, awesome community member, outrageously nice guy, did so much for so many people. You know, we don't like hearing about this, right? We don't like this happening. The community has the potential to be like a really awesome or a really horrible place, right? And like, we can be super helpful, or we could not be. So I think it's, you know, it's obviously all the times, but of course in times like this especially, where we're a family, right? We gotta help each other out as much as we can, in any ways that we can. Grundy, thank you so much for the 29 months, man. Thank you. Just taking a break from everything social media related. Yeah, social media can be brutal, man. Having just like your life online like that too is very difficult for a lot of people. Okay, we're gonna do stuff. We're gonna build a keyboard. We're gonna build a keyboard, guys. We're gonna build a keyboard, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be some new switches, new springs, new lube. At least all of those things new to me. It's gonna be good stuff. Iron 165. You love to see it. Pennywise says, I think the global community turned into shit, and that's why I stay only around the small corners of it, like Top Fleck. Yeah, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. But like, the reality is, it's so true too, because I've felt pretty much the same, where I feel like it's hard to like spend time like in the community at large anymore. I mean, obviously because there's so many outlets and stuff, so many places to be and things to do. But you don't really get that sense of community anymore, right? That sense of family, unless you're in these kind of more like niche, wholesome, like kind of corners, pockets of the hobby. And I feel that too, and I spend time in a few different places that are really awesome, and obviously one of them is with you guys. So I really appreciate you guys being awesome and mature and aware and understanding. Big qualities, man. Big brain qualities. We got a gatekeep. It's rough, right? It's rough. The hobby extends so far past keyboards. It really does too. Especially for people like content creators, vendors, and the like it becomes a big part of your life, right? It's not even just a hobby. It's not even just keyboards. It's like what you do. It's what you do, what you know, how you like interact, you know. I've met some of my best friends in this community, and it has the power to be so positive and so negative. It's just important to be there for people and tell them how much you care and appreciate them, says Osiris. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anyways, let's do keyboard things. Let's get our minds. Let's try to get our minds in a stable place, in a good place, as good as it can be, right? So let's start this fresh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mental Health Monday on a Thursday. If you're just tuning in now, I do apologize that I missed Monday's episode of doing it today instead of Monday because of a ridiculous heat wave we've had in my area on the west coast of the U.S. It's been absolutely asinine, if I'm being honest. It's a lot more reasonable now, so shout out to that. I'm not going to be melting, burning to a crisp in my office today. So welcome. Today we're going to be building my Iron 165, rebuilding rather, because it has been built before, but I have already disassembled it. So building up my Iron 165, it's an A-stock plum unit. It's awesome. It's got a brass plate, the brass weight, the black badge. I don't know why I'm just telling you about it when I could just like pull it out and show you. You've probably seen these before if you've been watching build streams for a while, because it was probably... Do you guys think the Iron 165 is one of the most built boards ever on build streams? I feel like it could probably be like in the top 2 or 3 of most built boards ever on stream. But anyways, awesome unit. I love this board. I should probably switch cameras so you can actually see what the heck I'm talking about. Awesome board. Brass plate. I was trying to clean it up a bit. It's mostly clean before the stream. But really cool plate design. This was kind of one of the... certainly not the only or first boards to do things like this, but it was kind of one of the first, very original, to do very kind of specific plate cuts in certain areas to try to achieve a much more consistent sound and feel, and I think it does a fairly good job of that. So brass plate, we're going to be using that. PCB, lovely here as well. USB-C, works in VIA, the works. You guys know the drill. It's all good stuff. So that's what we're doing today. We got the Anubis switches here. These are a collaboration between Mechs on Deck and Cannon Keys. You can get these at Cannon Keys. Highly suggest using the Mechs on Deck affiliate if you want to support some good people as well. So these are a Durock tactile switch that are similar to Moyu Black, so I've been told. These have a longer pull, so it has a bit more of a clacky bottom out, a rough clacky bottom out, kind of like a Holy Panda might. But it has a very kind of sharp, big, precise bump, similar to the Moyu Black. Not totally unsimilar to things like the Zelio V2 or the T1, but I would say this actually feels pretty good, pretty tight, pretty precise, and the bump is nice, big, round. I like that. I have the 69-gram symmetrical springs in here, which if you've not heard or seen of symmetrical springs yet, they're a little bit different. They're like double length, so they're super long, and they have a tight coil in the middle. So it's almost like 2 springs pushed together in a way, and what this allows for is a snappier return, but also a slow curve on the way down. So it's a rather interesting spring, and definitely looking forward to using them in here. I got the Carbon GS1 lube on here. The Carbon GS1 lube and the symmetrical springs are both over at Kinetic Labs, if anyone's curious. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing here today. It should be a pretty straightforward build. Got some stabilizers lubed here already before the stream. Switches already lubed. PCB desoldered, as you can see. So it should be nice, smooth sailing for us today. The heat was nuts. It hit 117 in Salem. Yeah, Oregon. I think Oregon got it even worse than we did. 117 is kind of crazy. I think it's somewhere around 115. 115 plus is when like your body basically like actually starts to like cook in a way, which is pretty rough. And in some places it's been like even crazier. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Pakistan recently got up to 126 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like, you can't be in that. Like humans can't do that. Like that's not a thing. The Iron 165 is in the Hall of Fame for most builds on stream for sure. Yeah, for sure. Can't wait for my round 2. Yep. Satisfaction is up there. Nice. Yep. That's certainly true. That was popular. They're also called two-stage springs. Okay, good to know. Good to know. A slow curve means it has... Sorry, a slow curve means that it starts at the higher force, so there is less of a delta between the start and the end of the curve, correct? Yes. Mr. Petrov, thank you so much for the tier 2, man. 32 months. 32 seems like a good number, does it? I feel like, is there a joke there that I'm missing? Because that feels pretty possible. Oh, also, before I forget, one habit I did want to get into that was kind of pointed out to me is, before we actually get started on today's build, I want to kind of recap very, very quickly what we did on the previous stream. So, on the previous episode last week, we built up this board, which doesn't actually belong to me. This belongs to my my Top Attack co-host and partner, Jay. This is his Linworks Dollinger. So this is a pretty awesome board. Of course, the VOD is still up on Twitch and YouTube if you want to check it out. We built this. It came together super well. 3mm polycarbonate plate in here. I lubed some lavenders personally for this build. I think it came out super duper awesome. It's E-white. I believe it's E-white. Some kind of white. Pretty sure it's E-white though. And GMK Bingsu, which looks stellar on there. So really, really happy with this. I've been using this for the past, I don't know, week and a half or whatever since I built it. And this has been lovely too. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that. This came out even better than I was expecting. So that was pretty cool. Gotta love when that stuff happens. So yeah, that was last week's episode. It's kind of like an anthology, right? Like a series. You follow along. There's a story. Even though that board's not mine, a lot of the builds I will be doing are mine. Say a temporary goodbye to Chi as we begin testing some stabilizers. Which again, bam, right here. Lubed them before the stream. We're good. .117F is super close to the point where the surface of your lungs is enough colder that than the surrounding air, that water coldness in your lungs, condenses in your lungs, sorry, and you slowly drown. Wow, that's I didn't know that. That's horrifying, like OCM says. I completely agree. Complex says, good thing to share with the chat with a topic about mental health. Jeez, I know, right? Darkest stream ever. That's not the intention. It's not the intention. We're all doing all right here. We're all doing okay. All right, so let's get some stabilizers in, shall we? Stabilizer screws right there. So I'm still actually unsure of what layout I want. I lubed 4 stabilizers to do a pretty standard, 4 stabilizer setup. I don't know if I want to do split backspace or not, though. I didn't before. What do you guys think? Is the Iron 165 better with split backspace? Are you guys a fan of the split backspace on the 165, or do you guys prefer the more normal backspace? I think I prefer the normal one myself, but I'm kind of curious, because I feel like I see a lot of people build the 165 with split backspace. Either way, we're going 7U. Because I think that's the only thing the plate allows, which is totally fine. I want a splits in all boards if you can. Fair enough. Everything is better with split backspace. I only use split backspace, says Lunar. Okay. Is everyone split backspace on this? Static Age says normal. Okay. Anyway, says split it. Static says also stoked to see your thoughts on these switches when this is built. Same. That's like obviously the Iron 165 is an awesome board and I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites and my favorites of my collection, of course. But these switches are brand new, and so like the switches are like the most exciting thing to me today. So very much looking forward to that, but I think this should be a really good platform to kind of let those switches shine as well. More stabilized keys equal better, keep it whole. That's it. I feel like that's a hot take, more stabilized keys. I get where you're coming from, but I feel like that's almost a hot take in the community. Putting new switches into a board you're super familiar with should be a good way to judge them too. Yeah, absolutely. Less stab keys, less things to worry about. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm more of a fewer stabilizer is better kind of person, but at the same time, I feel like there are just some boards and some layouts that just look better with normal backspace. It's just the way I'm wired. Just the way I'm wired, guys. So, let's get some of these. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. You guys seem to want the split backspace, and I totally understand and respect that decision. But I kind of want to. I kind of want to do normal backspace. I just don't even know, man. I don't even know. Maybe I should do a poll. I had it built, in case anyone was curious, I had it built previously with normal backspace. Holy crap, what a raid. Stray Chroma, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. You are amazing. Welcome, everyone. I hope your stream was wonderful. What did you guys do over there today? I feel like you raided me last week too, on Monday. Do you just stream every day? Am I just hitting the right times to get these raids? Because I'm okay with that. But thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Iwane says, you do what you want. I know. But maybe I should just try it. Maybe I should try it, right? Should I try it? With split backspace? Sorry about my hair, everyone. I know it looks ridiculous. Split back looks better on a 60. So do you guys, real talk though, do you guys think that split backspace looks better on a 65% with a blocker? Is split backspace the better aesthetic here, or is normal backspace the better aesthetic? I'm not talking about what you prefer to use. I'm talking about pure aesthetics. What looks better, split or normal backspace on a blockered 65? What do you guys think? I'm torn. I feel like the normal looks better. I really do. Lots of first-time chatters in here. I love to see that. Welcome. As I drop screws. I swear I'm good at this. I've done this before, I promise. But yeah, welcome to Mental Health Monday on a Thursday. I'm really just gonna drop this again and look like a total idiot. So this is kind of like my weekly mental health focus stream, where I do keyboard stuff, and we talk a little bit on and off about mental health and mental health awareness. Like many of you guys might have, I have been through mental issues myself, and had a pretty rough time at it. Thankfully, I'm doing a little better these days, but as I'm sure some of you might be able to attest, some days are better than others, right? A lot of up and down, but we try to be a family here. We try to be a community. Try to be wholesome, very welcoming and accepting. So thank you all for showing up. Welcome all you delightful raiders. Malfish says it was a good mental health day. That's the goal, right? That's what we want to hear. Why is this tip just like not magnetized? I feel like screws just keep sliding off this tip. Don't clip that out of context. Split backspace on 60s, yes, but on 65% normal looks better to me, says Static Age. First time chatter Fuse says full looks better. Okay. Yes, it seems a little torn. Jase says normal looks better. Jevin says normal looks better to me. Pennywise says split for sure. It still adds more symmetry. Interesting. it kind of seems, at least in this outrageously small and unofficial sample size, it seems like you guys actually prefer the aesthetic of normal backspace, which I fully understand and respect. I mean, I respect it either way, but you know how we do. Yeah, I kind of agree with a couple people in chat here saying that the split looks better on a 60%. I agree with that. 65% I'm kind of torn on. I don't know though. I just like the look of normal backspace. And I did lube 4 stabs for this build. Should probably use it, right? Fusebot asking if I got this 165 aftermarket. I did not. This was actually sent to me by the Smith and Rune guys. Because they're freaking awesome. Like, there's no other reason to that. You know, we're not partnered with them, not sponsored by them. I met Luke like once in person, talked to him and Vox Keys a couple times. They're super genuine, nice people. They offered to send me one. It was as simple as that. Actually, what's funny is they told Jay that they were sending me one, and I didn't even learn until later that I was getting one. And then it arrived. It actually... So, funny story. I built another Iron 165. I think a Founders Edition, one of like the fancier like SKUs of the Iron 165. I built that for a friend on a build stream, you know, a while back when they were first shipping. And it came with this one as well, which is a standard edition Plum A stock, which is amazing and probably would have been my preference anyways. But that came along with it, and I was like, oh, this customer might have my friend that I was building for. I thought he just ordered 2. I thought they were both just his, and I was like, hey, do you want me to just send this one unbuilt back to you, or do you want me to build this one too? And he's like, yeah, you could just send it to me unbuilt, just build the other one. And I was like, okay, cool. Because he actually bought a Plum A stock as well at the same time from another source during the group buy, like from the other vendor, I think, and he wasn't expecting them to ship at the same time. So we both thought it was his, and then a couple days later I get a PM from I can't remember if it was Vox or Luke, but he was like, hey, did you get your Iron 165? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we sent you one. And I was like, what? And so it was so epic, because then I had to go and be like, oh yeah, so this one's actually mine. It was really awesome moment. Really awesome moment. Love the positive outlook. Thank you so much, Chroma. Thank you so much. I was lurking in your stream the other day too. I appreciate a lot of your positivity. I like to lurk in streams. I lurk at a lot of streams these days. I like always have a keyboard stream up now, and that didn't used to be the case, but now I just kind of like lurk all around. Bunch of normies with their normal backspaces, right? I don't know. Is it? I gotta. Do I do a poll? Do you guys want to vote on this? I'll let you guys vote on this, because I'm like pretty torn here. Or do I have a mod here? Looter's here, right? Someone's here. Can you make a straw poll for me? Can someone make a straw poll for me? One of the mods. Just do I split backspace or not, right? Normal backspace versus split backspace. That's it. 2 choices. That's all I need. Because honestly, I don't mind using it or building it either way. I'm totally fine with it either way. I think there are absolutely reasons to do both in my mind. So let's just do a quick straw poll, and you guys can vote. Choose my destiny for me. I think 65 looks so unbalanced, it doesn't really matter if you go split or not split. That's a fair take. I think that's a pretty fair take. On a blockered 65, I think split looks better, but on non-blockered, full looks better. Also a good take. That's a pretty valid opinion, yeah. I heard the entry level mods are all quit due to my management style. Petrov, the head mod, that's right. Do I not have mods? I might not have mods right now. I'll just make a straw poll myself, I suppose. Straw poll. split BS or nah. Split it and quit it. Normalize dat. All right, so vote in this little straw poll, or don't. You know, live your life. Either way, but this will give us an answer. I'm totally willing to build this either way, whatever chat decides here. Normal backspace or split backspace. I have the stabilizer already lubed. I don't have to do anything. I just gotta put it on and be good. Gwillad asking if I've tried the Anubis switches yet, or if this is my first go. This is my first go. I got these in not even a week ago. I don't think it hasn't been very long, and I just got done lubing them the other day. So this is my first ever build with them. This is my first time lubing them. I think I did a pretty good job, honestly, and I'm very much looking forward to how this is coming out, because this is going to be pretty freaking awesome. This is totally my kind of tactile switch. Totally my kind. Oh, sorry, Iwane. It's all good. It's all good. We're good. We got the poll up. We're good. Sorry to get good help these days. I know, Mr. Petrov. You gotta. Where do you find these guys, man? Where do you? I know you're obviously not personally trading them. Rabbit Sensei, hello. How's my day? My day's been great. You know, I have the day off work. I get to come here and stream, and it was really casual. Woke up naturally, had some coffee, listened to some chill music. Took a nice long shower. And then I desoldered my Iron 165 and lube stabilizers. And then I just played some games until it was time to stream. So it's been a phenomenal day, absolutely fabulous. And even better now that I'm here with you guys, and I get to try out these switches and rebuild my my Iron 165, which, for anyone that's curious, previously had some lubed and filmed MOAVs in it. Those are obviously kind of a somewhat earlier JWK linear. I say somewhat earlier, but you know, it's not that old, I guess. And they were fine. They were fine. They were very smooth, but the sound wasn't quite there, which, you know, as a lot of you guys can probably attest to some of the earlier JWK and Duroc things. You know, they just didn't always sound very good. This is really split right now. No pun intended, but the poll is split. What are we doing, guys? Are we splitting? Are we splitting it? I'll give this poll until 41, so a little under 2 minutes. Vote on this poll, guys. I'll link it again. Do I split backspace or not? Oh, I can type. I'm totally fine doing it either way. I wanna see what you guys want to do. I want to do what you guys want, but obviously it seems pretty conflicted. I thought the Holy Panda was your kind of tactile switch. It was, back in 2017. Brian, have you used the U4Ts yet? Asked Static Age. I have not. I did get some, and I did try one just loosely in my hand, and then I sent them to Langlandia for lubing. I think that was a couple months ago. So I think he's gonna lube them soon, and then I'll get them back, and we'll put them in something. I have no idea what I'm gonna put them in, but they should be like kind of a similar switch, right? This is still really split. This is split 50%. Seriously, 50-50. 7 votes to 7 votes. Alright, I guess I should do a tiebreaker. If at 41 it's still tied, we're going with split. No. Normal. No. Split. No. Normal. He said he was gonna lube them soon. Yeah, I mean, he'll get to it when he gets to it, right? I'm not worried about it. He's got a life. He's got things going on. All right, it's 41, and normal has won 8 votes to 7. That was close. All right, so we're gonna do normal. We're gonna put the 4 stabilizer in there. And that's how we're rolling, guys. That's how we're rolling. For better or worse. Unless I test this stabilizer and it just completely sucks. Which always could happen, right? That's always a chance. And if it totally sucks, then I think that was the keyboard gods telling me and us that we need to split that backspace. So we'll play a game of fate, if you will. Jevin, was Jevin the tiebreaker? Was it your vote, my dude? That's awesome. So how's everyone doing today? Everyone relaxing? Hopefully some good things happened to you today. Make sure to stay hydrated, of course. Everyone's vote was the tiebreaker. Certainly one way to look at it, right? All right. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna put the plate on this to test as well. So we'll throw a few switches in here. This is probably the most excited I've been to put switches in a board in, gosh, I don't even know how long. I mean, the lavenders in the tin when I did that was pretty exciting as well, because I really enjoy the tin build process. That was a phenomenal stream even. But that's been a little while, so these are finally here, and this should be pretty cool. This song's kind of bopping. What is this? Mechs on deck. Thank you so much for the 10 months. The excitement is real. Is this Chewy? I feel like I saw Osiris's name a couple times already earlier, so this must be Chewy. How you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for the sub. And yes, the excitement is very real. I had never tried the Moyu Blacks, right? I had never tried those, but I remember Osiris was like, "Hey, the Moyu Blacks are pretty good." And I kept thinking to myself, I'm gonna get some, and then I honestly just kept forgetting about it and putting it off. Then when you guys announced these, I was like, I don't have to get Moyu Blacks anymore. I can just get some of these, and instead of ordering, from like Amazon or like some other random source, I get an order from Cannon Keys, which is a big plus. So was pretty happy about that. And although I haven't used these in a board yet, obviously, this is my first. In the hand, I will say they feel quite good. The stock spring is okay. I did take Osiris's advice and swap in the 69-gram symmetrical springs from Kinetic Labs, and it really does improve the Switch quite a bit. That extra snappiness helps a lot. I feel like it kind of clears a little bit of that extra travel distance at the end. Because the snapback is so much harder, I feel like you get the bump is a lot more like pronounced almost. It feels a lot tighter, a lot more like focused, and I like that quite a bit. All right, we need some keycaps to test these. Keycaps, where are you? I honestly have no idea what set I'm going to use on this board either, so that's gonna be fun once we arrive there, because I just straight up don't know. Oh wait, no. This is a great testing set, actually. This is accidentally a great testing set. This is the GMK Pretty in Pink add-on kit, if anyone was wondering. This should work relatively well as a kind of a tester here. No backspace, but that's okay. Kind of just use these. Switch Keys AU, thank you so much. Hello. Thank you so much for the 21 months. You are awesome. So one thing I was kind of toying around with was the idea that I would use a slightly more dampened switch for the spacebar. That's something I kind of want to try. I did, so basically, I kind of had a slight accident when I was lubing these switches, and I messed up a few of them, because I kind of over-lubed the springs at the start, which is a mistake that I'll be honest, I've never actually done before. And basically what that did is when I was applying them, some excess lube accidentally got on the bottom of the poles when I was applying the poles onto the lube springs inside the switch. So as I was assembling the switches, basically. And a little bit of lube got on the bottom of the pole. And it feels great. It still feels great, don't get me wrong. But the problem is now at the bottom of the pole, there's a little bit of lube. And because of that, it's a much, much more dampened sound. Like, you basically can't hear this switch. That's how dampened it is. And I was thinking, obviously I kind of just set those aside and kind of fixed a couple that I've done that way, and then I started doing them a little differently, and they all came out a lot better and more consistent in terms of the sound. But I was thinking about using a kind of more dampened switch on the spacebar. So I'm not entirely sure how loud I want my spacebar. I'm not really the biggest fan of like aggressively loud spacebars. I'm really not. So I was kind of thinking of something more dampened. There's a lot of... I feel like there's a lot of reverb just because of the tactility on the spacebar. And I almost wonder if a slightly more dampened switch could change that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll give that a try as well. We'll see what happens. What could go wrong? Like I know a lot of people are like spacebar people, like when they type, right? Like they want that loud, assertive, clacky spacebar. They want it to be like, you know, very in your face, and I get that. But I kind of like a quieter spacebar, if I'm honest. I like when the alphas and the mods can shine, and the spacebar doesn't really like interrupt it, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna put one of these kind of more dampened switches in there. We're gonna see how that plays out. Worst case scenario, I just have to desolder a switch, no big deal. But these tabs seem pretty good so far. I'll test this one as well. Yep, we sound good there too. Very cool. Alright, so stabilizer's all good. We're to go with a slightly more dampened switch on the spacebar. And the reason I'm kind of being very astute and trying to call that out is so when people later hear the typing test, they don't go, where's the spacebar? Because the spacebar might not be as loud as the other keys. Again, that's something I kind of like, but I know not everyone is into that. So I just kind of wanted to point that out now while I could, you know. Alright, so let's get some switches in. And have a good time, shall we? If anyone has any questions, of course, do let me know. Whether about the board or otherwise. You know what feels great after last week's struggle on the Dollinger? Because I don't know if you guys might have remembered, this board was a little difficult for me to assemble. I was having a lot of issues with the 3mm polycarbonate plate, which is kind of strange because you might be thinking, well, I mean, it's 3mm, it should be a lot more rigid. How are you having issues with a 3mm polycarbonate plate? And to that I'd answer, I don't even know, man. I honestly don't even know. I thought it was going to be like a really easy building experience, and it turns out it just, it was a little bit more difficult. But eventually, we got there, it just took a bit longer. And the build came together wonderfully after that. Really, really happy with it. So, I guess, you know, all's well that ends well, at least in that scenario. This board, quite the opposite. This is just a breeze to build. This is an easy building experience. I already have the gaskets on there from the previous build. I already know the PCB works and is programmed. The plate and PCB both very easy to push these switches into, but still just tight enough to kind of hold it together and stabilize it. You'll love seeing that. Any plans for the 4th? Probably not. At least, like, I don't know. No, like, real plans. I don't really care to, like, go out and, like, party. I'm not, like, a partier. I don't like to go to bars, really, or do anything crazy. Like, there'll probably be some, like, local fireworks festivals and stuff. Like, that's fine, but if I'm being honest, I don't really care too much about fireworks either. I've seen lots of them growing up, and I feel like I've been to enough of the events around here. I've kind of just seen them all. I don't really care. Not to take away from anyone else's fun, of course. It's just not really my thing. So I don't know. I'll probably just stay at home, play video games with friends, or maybe I'll stream. What is the 4th? Is it a Sunday? I think it's a Sunday, right? Yeah, it's a Sunday. Okay, so yeah, so I do actually have that day off too, which is cool. Normally I work Sundays. Normally I work my day job Sundays, but we're actually closed for the 4th of July, which is cool because we didn't used to always be. So that's pretty awesome. So I get the day off, so I'll probably just chill. Maybe do some keyboard stuff, maybe do some video gaming, hanging out with friends maybe. We'll see. I don't really plan ahead for a lot of things. I'm like super bad at that. I'm more of a, you know, day-to-day kind of guy, which I realize is awful in a lot of ways for a lot of reasons and for a lot of things, but sometimes you just gotta live in the moment. I'm unfamiliar with the switches. Can you please fill me in? Yes, of course I can, Mechs on Deck. So this switch is a Durock/JWK manufactured switch, and it is a tactile switch, not terribly unlike Zelios V2 or Holy Pandas or even T1s. Similar brand, I know not exactly, but similar brand of tactility there. Kind of a big round bump that takes up much of the key press. Very much towards the top. It's almost more parabolic than tactile. It is in the Mechs on Deck colorway. Despite how it looks on stream, this is actually a translucent bottom, not opaque. However, the top is opaque. 3.6mm travel is what I'm gonna guess, but feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong. It does have the longer pole to achieve that kind of Holy Panda bottom out feel and sound. So it does have a slightly reduced tactility because of that. Also, it comes stock with a 65-gram gold-plated spring, but I have opted to swap that out because I found it a little lackluster, if I'm being honest. And I put in the 69-gram, not progressive, sorry, 69-gram symmetrical springs from Kinetic Labs, and those seem to have some pretty cool results in here. So I'm all about that. Also, full nylon housing, and they do come pre-lubed. I'm gonna put quotes around that because, like, yes, it's lubed, but maybe not ideally. But hey, for a lot of people, that's better than nothing, and I would largely agree, depending on who you are, I guess, if you like to lube your own switches. But yeah, so kind of a very interesting take on maybe a new style of tactile. So the cooler things about this switch are obviously the tactility. Like the way the tactility works is quite nice if you're into that sort of thing. Also, the full nylon housing, right? We're starting to see full nylon housing JWK switches across a few different places now, including the Lavenders, the Ceruleans, I believe, and then now these. And I think there's probably one or two others that are starting to emerge. My question is, why weren't we doing this from the beginning? Because if you haven't used a full nylon JWK switch, it's like worlds better than the like the whatever like the normal default kind of plastic composition is, which I'm sure includes a lot of polycarbonate and maybe like some nylon and you know, maybe even some other things. I'm certainly not an expert on it, but man, we should have been making them from straight nylon this whole time, because this really is just superior, I gotta be honest. Here they are somewhat like an MX Brown Kappa. Let's just hope for no wildfires this year. Oh man, I feel like it's like normal now in the summers to just like have states on fire. I mean, obviously like places like California and you know, some cities up above me in Canada, I feel like just really seem to get pounded by wildfires. Oh, this is crazy. Usually, there's almost never lyrics on this playlist. That's okay though. We'll appreciate it. Should be wholesome. It's full circle cherry as nylon, but yeah, these are actually good though. There's a difference between a nylon switch that feels good and a nylon switch that doesn't feel good. But I mean, that's I think that's probably the defining reason why cherry switches are still to this day so heralded for their sound, because it's very particular, right? Like, most of us know by this point that the vast majority of cherry switches are not smooth, and who knows if they ever will be. Obviously, we've had bright lights when they first retooled the blacks, the MX blacks. Those were pretty nice for the first, like, the first batch was excellent, and you could get them at like 20 cents a piece at Aero. It was nuts. But you know, as molds get used and kind of start to deteriorate, the switches just don't feel as smooth. So like really you only get like one, you know, maybe two really high quality batches, it seems like, historically at least. And then it kind of starts to go to hell. Just look at the creams, man. You know, people talk about how scratchy creams are these days. My creams are from the first batch. There's like zero friction on them. Like actually none. Even the stock ones. It's outrageous. So like the fact that creams are like scratchy and people think they're scratchy now is like kind of mind-blowing to me. But it just kind of, it really does seem to enforce that that mold usage attributes to, you know, more scratchiness, less smooth switches. Cherry sounds probably the best, even if not smooth. Yeah, I mean, the one downside is, like, a lot of the times your cherry switches, even though, like the bottom out, like, impact sound, or whatever you want to call it, is nice because of the plastic compositions, you still get a lot of that extra, like, scratchiness sound, like, while you're pressing it, during the press, right? And we've seen a lot of pictures. There used to be some floating around of the cherry leaves, some nice macro shots of the cherry leaves, the metal leaves, compared to like some Gateron leaves and you know, Zelio leaves and stuff. And the cherry leaves were just way more porous. They were a lot rougher in texture than the other metal leaves of the other switches, which I always thought was really interesting, and partially why you know, you get that really crazy, like, almost guaranteed scratch from a cherry switch. And that's, of course, plastic composition aside. Oh, you agree, Chewy? Your first batch of creams are amazing. My Crown has OG run creams, and it's one of my most used boards, right? That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, the original production creams are like actually nuts. Like, they're so good, and then it seems like they just went downhill. And I am assuming that's just because of the mold usage. I think Mex on Deck is talking to himself. It's okay. We love Chewy anyways, even though we know he's you you know, kind of a goofball. That's part of the reason why we love him. Cherry almost aimed first and foremost at for durability and lifetime, and actually went through the testing to ensure they would last forever. Yeah, you know what? I totally respect that. Obviously, Cherry is legendary. It has that lineage in our hobby, and that's great. We probably wouldn't be where we are today without Cherry, you could say. I totally respect that, but you know, in the custom community, that's not necessarily what everyone wants, right? That's not like the ideal typing experience, or at least the way they decided to go about it isn't. Just saying smoothness wasn't the original goal. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't need a keyboard to be smooth, right? Like, it's not necessarily pertinent to the functionality. We do this because we're DIY enthusiasts, not because we need keyboards for survival. Yeah, and like Willad says here, Ultimate Cherry is targeting consumers, not hobbyists. Yeah, it's very true as well. We are not the ideal Cherry market, just like we've seen over the years. All right, so looks like I got 2 left over there, so that's cool, just in case I need to swap something out. Look at that. Perfect. They're all in there perfectly. What a lovely plate. All the pins are through as well. Man, we are on track for a very quick keyboard build. So I'm just gonna take a quick water break here. But we will get to soldering this momentarily, guys, don't worry. Chubies is raiding with a party of 9. Thank you so much, Chubies. Hope your stream was well, my friend. Welcome, new people. Hopefully you guys had a good stream over there. We're rebuilding up my Iron 165 with some new switches and new springs and new lube. So very interesting. This switch actually looks really good on this brass. I was gonna say sandblasted brass, but I don't actually know if it's sandblasted. Could be, but I'm not a metals expert. But I like this kind of the matte finish on brass, which I think you achieve by some kind of blasting, media blasting or sandblasting. Love that over like the shinier PVD stuff. Not that PVD's bad, but I just think this looks so much more elegant. But the switch looks quite nice on the brass, I gotta be honest. That's good stuff. Thank you again, Chubies. Alright. Well, shall we get ready to do a little soldering? I think this entire stream is going to be... Sarah says, holy shit, you zooming through this. Well, I mean, like, it's not... I mean, the Iron 165 is a pretty easy build, right? Like, the gaskets are already on because I've built this board before. That's like what took a little time last time, right? But now it's the switches just go into the plate and PCB so seamlessly. This was very fast. It must have taken me an hour and a half to get all the switches in the Dollinger on like last week's stream. I swear it was like somewhere between an hour to an hour and a half just putting switches in the plate PCB. But here it feels very natural. They all just went in super easy. Gaskets already on. Yeah, I'm actually trying to slow down a little bit because I want to spend some time with you guys. I don't want to just solder and kind of be done with this. Because soldering is not going to take super long. But I also really want to type on this. It's gonna take me a while to find keycaps for this anyways, I think. We're gonna have to, we'll probably have to find some options. We'll probably have to do a straw poll for keycaps, let you guys choose that as well. And that should be a lot of fun too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put down a little solder mat here. That'll protect my admittedly already kind of being destroyed kind of Pacific Northwesty vibe desk mat that I've been using from Kinetic Labs. I need to get like 2 more of this specific desk mat because it's one of my favorites. But I just seem to destroy desk mats. It's like a thing that I do. I just wreck them. It's like normal for me. AttoWorks, hello, how are you? I'm great. I'm great. How you doing, my friend? Doing well? We're doing some cool keyboard stuff today. Build's coming together super nicely. Very much looking forward to typing on this. All right. So we will get ready to do some soldering, and then we can put this bad boy together, which is also a pretty quick and seamless process. And then we will sort through, I don't know, like a bazillion keycap sets to figure out what we're putting on here. And by a bazillion, I mean probably like, I don't know, like 10 to 15 to 20 to 25 to 30. Yeah, doing great. Just printing and setting up. Love this. Can't wait to see what we do with it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is... Correct me if I'm wrong. Who else has streamed with these switches yet? Besides, obviously, Mex on Deck, who I believe got them first. Obviously. And did a build or two with them. Have any other streamers actually built with these switches yet? More particularly these the switches and the springs together. Because that'd be kind of interesting. It'd be interesting if I would be the first one to do it outside of Mex on Deck. Oh, maker mods? Okay, fair enough. I guess I'm not cool enough. I tried to be cool and be the first, but that's okay. He built the 65. Okay, so I'm the first doing it. Okay, cool. That's what I was hoping for. I want to be the first person with this configuration. I'm probably the first person to put the springs or put the switches in an iron too, I imagine. First in a gasket mount? Is it? Or, well, okay, isolation. Man. The terminology for that is, I feel like, really getting out of hand. I feel like it used to be a lot simpler, but now there's, like... To me, isolation mount is a form of gasket. Like, this is, in my opinion, obviously just in my eyes. Gasket mount is, like, the broad term. That's, like, the overarching term of using any kind of, like, material, basically. Usually a soft material, I think in these cases, like something softer than metal, to kind of achieve some kind of like vibration or sound reduction in the typing experience. Like it's that vague. That's how I like to describe gasket mount. And then like isolation mount is like kind of like a subsection of gasket mount. To me, it's a lot less confusing that way. Imagine having an iron that's built. 74 gram from Novel Keys. Not bad, but you lose a smidge from the bump. Yeah, I like the 74 gram Novel Keys springs. I actually have those in my my Prophet that was built with 74 gram Novel Keys. Nice spring. I like the Novel Key springs because they're like really obscure weights. Like they're weights you just don't find anywhere else. 74 being one of them. Like you see 72 a lot, you see 78. Like, you never really see 74. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of into that obscure stuff. Of course, guys, once again, while I'm soldering, or just throughout the stream. If you have any questions, do let me know, guys. Any questions at all. Because soldering is always a good time to kind of play around with those and answer those. So just kind of always assume that these streams are Q&A as well the entire time. I know sometimes I get PMs and I'm like, hey, I didn't want to ask you on stream, but like yada yada. I'm like, no, just ask me on stream. Just ask me on stream. It's fine. It's totally fine. Where's the 73.5? Oh, God. Is 63.5 still, like, really popular? I remember when 63.5 kind of first launched and everyone was like, ah, it's a meme, and, like, everyone kept buying them and using them. And, like, they were good. I used some, too. But I'm kind of curious to know, like, is that still a popular weight these days? Do people still actively use 63.5? Still popular? Okay, okay. The gummy worm mount is true gasket. I think I just view gasket like differently. Like to me, that is a gasket mount, right? Like anytime you add some kind of gasketing material to a keyboard that otherwise wouldn't have had gasketed material, to me that's a gasket mount. It doesn't matter like what methodology it is, like whether you're putting O-rings on a top mount, or you have the kind of pads on the iron like that kind of go around, or like a key colt or a Bauer. All gasket. To me, that it's just they're all gaskets. All of them are gasket mount. But obviously that's just why I like to have that as like a broad term. Like it's a gasketed mounted keyboard. Gaskets in some format in the mounting experience. A strip of foam is not a gasket, though, but when somebody refers to gasket, they usually mean foam. Really? I mean, I get that a strip of foam is not a gasket. It's just more of like a... Like, you need a term to describe that, right, in keyboards? And, like, I think that's why gasket mount, like, at least in my eyes, kind of gets that. Because it's just, like, it's broad, it's vague. You could use, like, dampened mount. I'd be totally fine using that, but, like, that's not, like a community term. At least in that sense. Like, people just always say gasket mount instead. But, like, the idea is that, like, you're using some kind of additional material to dampen vibrations. Be it for feeling, be it for sound, or otherwise. That's, like, the whole idea. Foam Sando mount? Everything else is a more complicated sandwich mount. I guess. I mean, like, depending on who you're talking to, right? Like, this conversation just goes differently. Like, everyone kind of has their own opinion on it, right? That's why I tell it like I can, right? If you guys agree with me, totally cool. If you don't, also totally cool. We could still be friends. My big fat head in the way, guys. try to lean back far enough. GMMK Pro is a sandwich mount with dysfunctional foam. Yeah, they could have done a better job on the foam. I definitely applaud them for trying, and I hope the following rounds kind of fix that. They are aware of it though, to be fair, because when they sent me mine, they were like, "We're gonna send you extra foam, and like, do more foam because we didn't add quite enough like." The foam gaskets like aren't thick enough, so just like double up on those. And I was like, okay, well at least you guys are aware of it. And it seemed like it's something they were trying to correct in future versions. R&D is not cheap, that's for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I think the reality is like different boards like can be successful, but like it can also like be less successful. You know, you can fail in the eyes of some people, but like the reality is like at least we're trying things, right? Like at least people are like trying different things, and whether they're like, you know, super successful or not, it's nice to see things being tried. Because also the reality is none of us know what the heck we're doing. Nobody, like really nobody does. We all kind of just like pretend we do, and like we try things and hope they work, and like sometimes they do, and that's obviously, you know, a good outcome. But like at least we're trying things, right? Like I try not to like bash on people or whatever. It's like, oh, you know, it's a shit board, or like, oh, it's glorious, but like it's really not that bad of a board. Like I have one, it works super well, especially for the price. It's not amazing. It's not life-changing. It's not groundbreaking. It's not a revolution. But it's way better than any OEM keyboard I've ever used, barring things like Toper boards. JYMV said that he is buying more boards for gimmicks. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, I mean, gimmicks mostly don't hurt. Yeah, like Pennywise said. It's true. Like, sometimes you overpay for stuff, but, like, I don't think that's necessarily the case on every board. For real, though, what keyset am I going to use on this? Just start naming, guys in chat. Seriously, just start typing out key sets you want to see on this board. Don't ask what I have. Just start typing out key sets, and then we can compile a list of things that I have. Because chances are I gotta have at least some of them, right? Two different sets? What do you think I am, rich? No, we don't do that here, alright? I don't double up on GMK sets. That's not what I'm about. That's what I call bad value. Although I know it can look cool having multiple sets on the board. I get it. It's fun. But like, and I do have a fair amount of sets and a fair amount of boards. I'll be honest, but like, I still feel like it's poor value to split them up. Because like, you never know if the inverse is gonna look good, and sometimes you wind up dedicating 2 or even 3 sets to a single board, and then like you can't really use like the rest of those sets on another board. It's like doesn't always line up right. Oh yeah, by the way, Plum. This is a Plum Iron 165. Sorry, Plum Iron 165 with brass plate, brass weight. Honderbyte. Okay, I don't have Honderbyte. CRP. I have CRP Japanese, which I know is certainly not everyone's favorite CRP set, but I like it. So CRP Japanese could be a thing. Skull Squadron. I don't have that. Ashes. I don't have that. Cafe. I do have that. Strip that Bingsu off the Dollinger. I could do that, but I don't want to. I don't know if I want to like double up on sets like week after week, right? Like we used Bingsu on this board. This was built last week. Maybe we should try something a little different, just for the sake of variety. Not to say that Bingsu is a bad choice, because I think Bingsu is without a doubt one of the front runners that you'd want to put on a Plum Iron 165. Botanical, Muted. I have both of those. Okay, cool. CRP is really cool. The spacebar is straight. Yeah, I think my 7U CRP spacebar is a little wonky, but it's usable. I don't think I have... Do I have Muted on the board? I don't think I have Muted on the board. No, so yeah, Muted's available. Honeywell's on a board. I can always take off any other boards. I have Honeywell, I have Muted, I have Botanical, I have CRP Japanese, I have Cafe. Could do Bingsu, but nothing that hot tap water can't fix. Yeah, I'll probably do that. White on Black, I have that as well. Matrix 01, I don't have that. Do not have that. Vote for Bingsu and CRP. I'll put together a straw poll. Are you still on mobile, Iwane? Is Lunar Sama here? We might need to do like a 2-stage poll. Do one with like 10, and then do like the top 2 out of those 10 or something. Someone here does. Well, you're so cool, Neb. I'll never be as cool as you, right? You got all the cool stuff. top 2, so you're down with half and half? I don't understand that question. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. No. We'll do another poll with the top 2 is what I'm saying. So we'll do a 2-stage poll. One with like 6 to 10 options, and then we'll take the 2 highest voted of that, and then we'll do another vote. You're so silly. I see what you're trying to do. Oh, it's not you. Someone else has it? Oh, fair enough. You smell the faint smell of gas. Uh-oh. Definitely get that checked out. Friendships ended over what set was it? Matrix 01? We're almost done here. Just the bottom row left to solder. Alright, I'll have to set up a poll after this. Unless there's another moderator available. I thought Lunar was here, but he might have left already. Which is totally fine. Alright, there we go. All the switches in. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any pad accidentally. Probably unplug here. Oh, take a quick break. Oh, it's getting pretty warm in here. Like, it's not like 110 warm, which is cool, but still pretty warm. Gotta stay hydrated. Oh, what's up, Polar Panda? How you doing, man? Gambit, hello to you. How goes it? He broke here overnight? Uh-oh. The iron is smexy. It is. It's awesome. And I think I'm good here. I think I'm done soldering. We'll test, of course. Do a quick testy test. I can open up the switch hitter real quick, and we can switch back to USB-C since one of the I mean, I wouldn't call it a problem necessarily, but one of the slightly downsides to something like a Dollinger is you have to use USB Mini, and I'm just more of a More of a USB-C man myself. This is a daughter board build, so I'm going to have to plug this in a little bit here to test. Take the top off. Gasket's already on, just like I mentioned earlier. This is a rebuild. All right. Sorry for my head in the way. Just gonna plug that in real quick. Setting up iron 165. Could be micro. That would be worse. You're not wrong. You were not wrong. I'm typing on the board with mini. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, right? It works. It works. But, I'm greedy. I want more out of my keyboards these days. I want USB-C, darn it. Okay, what sets we voting on? You're on a desktop for a minute? Okay, cool. Let's see. What was pointed out? Let's go back and see all the things that were pointed out. It was Cafe, White on Black, Honeywell, Muted, Botanical, Cafe, if I didn't already say that already, Bingsu. I don't really want to reuse Bingsu, but we'll put it up there as an option anyways, just because I'm sure people are okay with options usually. So yeah, all those sets that were named here, barring Matrix 01, because I don't have that. Or Ashes. I don't have Ashes either. Or School Squadron. Or Honda Bait. We could probably add a couple to... add Dual Shot to the list as well. You could add like 9009. Shit, I don't know. DMG. I don't know. Just put whatever you want on the list. Twitch polls limited to 5 options. So yeah, straw poll's fine. Yeah, we take straw poll. That's okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna test this. White on Black is one of the best looking sets on Plum Iron. Is it? White on Black? Should we add that as well? You can add that to the poll. Okay, so we are good. Nice, everything's working. Let's go ahead and put it all back together, shall we? You don't. If you want me to do the poll, you can let me know. I know there was a lot of options there, and it probably wasn't hard to kind of keep up. Set the Dollinger aside here. Alright, let's check out this straw poll. Did this work? Cafe, Bingsu, Honeywell, Botanical, CRP, Japanese. Oh yeah, perfect. That's a great list. What is this, like 8, 9, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, nine results. So basically, do this poll, guys. Vote on this poll. What key set you want me to use on this? Plum Iron 165. And out of those 9, we'll take the top 2, and then we'll run a poll again from the top 2 winners of this poll. Because I know probably not a ton of people are going to vote on this, so we got to try to limit it down a little bit. With that said, vote, vote, vote. Vote on that. It'll just take you a second. I'm going to remove my solder mat as well, just to clean things up a little bit here. No one wants to look at my solder mat. It's not very attractive. Screws right here, easy peasy. Really working that pole tonight. I know, right? We're gonna go for a record-breaking 3 polls in one stream. Sorry, guys. Okay, and if I recall, gotta put a little pressure on this to really get it compressed. If I recall. Let me get this just kind of finger tight at first. And dropping screws. You guys voting on that straw poll? Because you should be. Gambit, how you doing, man? Hey, Quakems, what is your least favorite animal? Huh. I'm not sure. I've never really thought about that. I don't know if they're... I've never really thought about animals that I dislike. I'm kind of... So, like, honestly, like, I'm kind of fascinated by, just, like, life in general. So, like, I tend not to really hate, like, living things, I guess. I don't really know how else to explain that. Like, life is just, like, really interesting, right? It's, like, super intriguing. Honestly is. I am just fingerprinting the heck out of this keyboard. I'm also getting sweat on it. Literally my blood and sweat and tears in this keyboard, except no blood and no tears. Yet. Keyboard builds, always interesting. No patina on the way yet? I guess not. They were sealed, right? Which is cool with me. I was having this conversation recently with someone too. Like, I'm actually not the biggest fan of patina. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there. I know it's kind of a hot take, but I don't think patina is that cool. I think it can look cool, and I like that there's lots of different ways to achieve it, and like because there's lots of different ways, there's lots of results, and I like the variety there. And I think some people have done some really cool things. Don't get me wrong. But I've just never really been a patina guy. If the brass can stay like fresh and sealed and like not oxidize at all, like that is, for me, that is like really beneficial. Okay, I genuinely sweat like all over this board. Clean brass is beautiful. Yeah, like, and especially like, it doesn't even matter on the finish because I like it kind of blasted like this, a little bit more matte, but I also like it PVD as well. And like both times, I don't want patina at all. Like, I don't want any patina. I want it to look clean and shiny, or like really kind of just clean and matte like this. I think that's just super, super duper nice. All right, It's just about time for what are the results of these? Should probably put a time on this, huh? Let's go 5 more, or sorry, 4 more, about 4 more minutes left on this poll. 5:45 Pacific time is when we'll stop this poll and we'll do the poll with the 2 winners. Okay, guys. So vote on this poll again. If you wouldn't mind, Iwane, can you spam that link just a little bit more? And vote on this poll, and that'll help decide what key set I use. And again, out of those 2 winners, out of the top 2 from this poll, we'll put head to head, and that'll be our winning set here. Rama internal matte PVD weights are awesome. Yeah, I like Rama stuff, honestly. I think Rama stuff is pretty cool. All right, so here's what it looks like without caps on, guys. Plum iron 165, brass plate, Anubis switches. Is there any way to protect the brass? Probably, but I don't know it, to be honest with you. Like a lot of the times they'll put like a coat of like a seal on it or whatever, right? Not always, but sometimes I think on a lot of the products like this, a lot of the higher end ones tend to have some kind of sealing coating on it, I think, which is probably why this hasn't started oxidizing, because I have other brass products, weights and plates, that are very oxidized, but this one seems to be kept very clean, which I like a lot. All right, guys, vote on this poll. Vote on this poll. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. 13 people have voted. We have 55 viewers. I want to see at least 7 more votes here. Come on. 20 out of the 55 of you can do this. I believe in you. I believe. Just humor me. Just humor me a little bit. Just 7 more of you. Vote on this poll. Sealing wax. Yeah, Neb says there are only 12 votes and I am so disappointed in all of you. I am disappointed as well. I mean, there's 13 now, but let's get those numbers up, guys. Come on. I don't ask for a lot. I really don't. At least I don't think I do. Do I ask for a lot? Do I ask for a lot, guys? I feel like I don't ask for a lot. But I am once again asking you to vote in this straw poll. 7 more of you. Can we get 7 more people? Now only 5 more. I would love to see a clear Cerakote used more. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Alright, now we got 16. 4 more. Let's get 4 more votes, guys. 4 more people voting on this. That's all I ask. Just 20 out of the 55 of you. And that'll. There's a lot of options, so we really need help solidifying a top 2 here. Alright, it's 5:45 now, and we have a clear first place, sort of, out of these options, as well as a tie for second. So we'll just do a 3-way straw poll. We'll redo the straw poll now, if you're still here, Iwane, and we'll just do those top 3 options. But I'm sorry that's changed now. We actually don't have the. No, now we have a 3-way tie for second. My gosh, you guys. Maybe we shouldn't have had so many options. Bingsu's winning. How is Bingsu winning? We used Bingsu last week. I know it'll look awesome on this, but we did use it last week already. You guys don't want to see something new? Something different? So 4 options? Gosh, I don't know. 4 options seems kind of excessive for the second wave. Just try them all. Oh my god, that sounds terrible. Just veto Bingsu? That's what I was thinking. That still leaves us with 3 options. I was really hoping for 2 out of these 9 to be more popular than like the rest. I don't want to veto Bingsu. If people want to see Bingsu, I think that's fine. Obviously, Bingsu will look good on this. And I need to take Bingsu off the Dollinger because I gotta send it to Jay anyways. For the sake of this, we'll do one more straw poll though. We'll do one more. We'll do Bingsu, and we'll just do the top 4. We'll do the top 4 Iowa. That's what we'll do. We'll just do Bingsu, Botanical, CRP, and White on Black. That's fine. We can do that. You want to try something else, but Bingsu just looks great on this? Yeah. I mean, it's totally fine. Bingsu is the best option. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine too. If it arguably is. I'm not going to disagree with that, but now that we have it narrowed down a little bit more, let's vote on this poll real quick, guys. We'll leave this up for just like 2 or 3, maybe 4 minutes. And we'll see how this goes. But please vote on that. And then I can start grabbing the set that you guys want to see. Botanical, CRP Japanese Pink, GMK White on Black, and GMK Bingsu. Do people actually want to see Botanical on this board? Do you think... Does Botanical look good on Plum? Is that what people do? I feel like the Botanical suggestion was kind of out of left field here. But maybe Botanical on the Plum Iron is a play? Is that really a thing? If Bingsu or Botanical wins, I'll be happy. I know you will be, Neb. I think Bingsu and Botanical are definitely 2 of the best GMK sets ever made. Botanical might actually be my favorite GMK set right now. Botanical plus this is camping. Okay, I kind of see that. Like the case itself kind of plays as your accent. I can see that. Honeywell or bust, I'm out. We used Honeywell a couple streams ago on my my Fiel with the wooden plate. I don't think it'll look good at all, says Neb. Neb, the genuine color expert in chat, says Botanical probably won't look good on this. And I'm kind of inclined to agree. I love Botanical. I really love Botanical. But it's on my my Prophet, which we built a couple weeks ago as well. And we got to use Botanical on stream, and that was fun too. That was great. I could take it off that board, that's fine. That's an E-White board. Anything can go on that board, right? Anything goes on E-White. White on Black to match the badge. We got a vote. We got a vote going now, guys. And Botanical is currently winning the vote. Bingsu with no votes in this final round. That's actually kind of interesting. All right, so we're definitely on track to not use Bingsu here. I'm gonna leave this poll up for another minute or 2. So get your last minute votes in there now. What keycaps that you want to see on this, guys? Botanical, CRP, Japanese Pink, White on Black, or Bingsu. Botanical's currently leading 4 votes to 3, 3, and 0. No matter how good Botanical is, I just don't see it with Plum. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, I love Botanical, but it just seems kind of odd on this board. With that said, I got no problems doing it. White on Black now tied with Botanical. Uh-oh. I feel like we're gonna end up with another like 3-way tie here. Stupid Bullets, hello, afternoon. Afternoon to you as well. Welcome to Keycap Putting On Simulator. Keycap Decision Simulator. White on Black to match the badges. I could see that. I could see that. Alright, I'll leave this up until 51, so you have less than a minute left. White on Black is currently leading, which is on my Tengu, but I'll take it off the Tengu. That's not a problem. I think White on Black would be totally fine here. I think pretty much any of the neutral sets will look good on here. White on Black does pull ahead. Alright, it's 51, and by 1 vote, White on Black wins, so... There we go. We're gonna go with the White on Black. Let me grab my Tengu real quick. dual shot would have been dope. I agree. I think dual shot actually would have been really sick. Kind of like an underdog almost, right? So this is fine. I can kind of just harvest these, and I got the rest to my right. So this will be a fairly harmless and simple transfer here. I'm going to be desoldering and rebuilding this as well on an upcoming stream. Lots of rebuilds. My entire collection is getting rebuilt pretty much, so that should be pretty cool. As much as I like Zelios, I think the Tengu in this particular mounting style kind of needs some linears. I think it'll just be better. Red Tengu gang. That's right. Yeah. It's an awesome board. It really is. I like it a lot. It's a little hard for me to type on because I'm just like, I'm not like an Alice user traditionally, so like this is kind of new to me. And I did more or less get used to it. I'm a little slower on it, I'll be honest, but I still like it. I think the board is super cool in itself. Got to figure out what switches to put in here. I can't just go around putting lavenders and everything as much as I kind of want to. But lavenders will be going in my Heine TKL now with some 58 gram symmetrical springs. So we use the 69 gram symmetrical springs today. Next week the plan is to use the 58 gram symmetrical springs on the Heine TKL. So that could be pretty cool as well. Tengu sounds amazing with inks. I believe that. Use Kingfishers? I've never used those before. Are they good? I don't know a lot of the switches these days. I feel like there's just so many. Like I was looking at Canyon Keys earlier, like at the lavender restocks. I kind of want to buy more. And I saw they had like a bunch of other switches too. Like there's Neapolitan and like coffee chip ice cream or something. Like are these switches any good? Like these Texi switches? I'm curious. Kingfishers are quite thocky. Okay, okay. Maybe I'll have to give them a try. What is it like? Is it a JWK or is it like a Gateron or a Texi? What exactly are symmetrical springs? Let me grab one to show you because they look a little different. So these are the ones we're using today. Check out what these look like, because it's pretty interesting. Alright, let's check this out. Sorry for the camera wobble, I use a boom arm, I don't have like a real frame. So basically it's kind of like almost like a double length spring, and it has a tight coil right there in the middle. So the idea of this is it's supposed to achieve kind of a slow curve, which is something that's not necessarily new to springs in our community. We've of course used slower curve springs over the last couple of years, but the interesting thing about this one is it gives you a much snappier return because it's just so long. I actually don't know all the technicals behind it, but I'm assuming just because of that middle coil and the extra length, you get a much snappier return. So the return actually feels like it's a heavier spring, but the actual like press of the normal press of it does not. So it's quite interesting in that way. Yeah, so kind of interesting. So these are the springs that we have in here in the Anubis switches. I got the 69 gram in there, and I also have some 58 gram that are over here as well, that I'll be using in the lavenders that I'll be lubing over the weekend / early next week for my Heine TKO build, which should be actually after this weekend. So on Monday is the goal. Little teaser tap. That's pretty interesting. Okay. It just wanted to fly onto the new board, and I'm okay with that. You'll send me some? What is this? Oh, the Kingfishers? Sweet, I'd love to try them. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Texi branded switches lately, and I don't think I've tried any of them yet. So I'd love to try any of them, honestly. You know, with that in mind, I'd like to ask you guys: have any of you tried any of these Texi switches yet? Obviously, the Kingfishers or the coffee chip ice cream or whatever it's called, or the Neapolitan switches. I think there's several more switches I'm forgetting as well. How do you guys feel about the new Texi switches? Are they any good? I've heard, like, relatively good things about them. I'm a big fan of a lot of Texi stuff, says Neb. Okay. Mex on Deck says, Texi is lit. Neapolitans are solid. Good to know. Sean Palsy says, I have blue velvets, Neapolitans, and coffee switches, and I'm happy with all of them. Cool. Nobody says that their linears are acceptable, but they have a unique tactile style that no one else does. I don't think any of those have shipped yet, though. Okay, so if I'm going to be getting Texi switches, what are the front runners? What are the two that I want to pick up first? Kingfishers, okay. Neapolitans and Neapolitans, okay. Get Neapolitans if you like stupid tactility, fair enough. Coffee chip are fine, but there are better options, okay. Okay. So it sounds like Neapolitans seem pretty favorable. Oh, whoops. Gotta keep a couple of these keys separate because they're from a different, well, kind of a different set, I guess. OG space keys. So I get these space bars. Okay, the rest of these caps, let's find them. Okay, that wasn't hard. Pretty sure these are it. If you like inks, you'll probably like the blue velvets. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I think inks are pretty good. I think inks are a very good switch, but I also find them kind of boring, if I'm honest. I feel like inks have like very little personality as a switch. And I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for that, and I'm sorry, but I think they're good. And I think they're a very good switch, and I understand why people like them. I have them in my Polaris. It's nice. I don't know. Inks just don't fully do it for me, you know? This sounds actually like totally not like I was expecting. I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way though. Inks are my favorite switch, but I understand your comment. Yeah, I mean, I think they're a lot of people's favorite switch, and that's fine. It's like a really good switch. I feel like I've used them in like a lot of boards though. Like I've lubed a lot of them, I've built with a lot of them, and like they're good, but like they're just like fundamentally good. They're not like a very exciting switch. Oh no, I'm using mod pipe and tilde. Throw it out now. You funny. Have I tried hippos yet? I have not tried hippos yet. That's like a Kinetic Lab switch, right? Is it a Texi? I haven't tried any of the Texi switches yet, but they seem to be kind of making a splash, as it were. Hippos are GATs with the UHM. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I've tried like normal Gateron linears with the UHM stems before, and they were okay. Those were the keyboard treehouse ones though, or whatever they were called. Oh shit. What am I doing on this right side here? I never know what to do on a 65% because I don't actually use any of these keys. We'll do... page, like a page up, page down kind of thing, I guess. I need something for row 2 that isn't page down. Did I accidentally put these caps back already? Just get rid of all the caps that I can't use. That's probably the easiest way. Got blizzards are like the perfect lilac tactile. Are they? I saw the blizzards and I was considering getting some, but I haven't yet. Are they pretty good? They seemed interesting. Do I just not have compatibility for this like side, or am I crazy? I think I just don't have caps for that. I might just have to wing it. I don't think this actual set, this is the one from Mass Drop, I think before they would drop. And I don't think I have 65% compatibility here. I think I just don't. Which kind of sucks, but oh well, I suppose. We'll do... I need a row 2 cap. Just need a row 2 cap. We'll do end at the top. That's a row 2. Now I just need a row 3 cap. I could put an FN there. That's probably fine. That's the right row. Darn it. I'll do this again. I thought this set had 65% compatibility, but I guess it just straight up doesn't. Which is kind of unfortunate. But oh well. We get through these. We do this. We do a plus there. Does that work? It's the right row. I can just do like FN at the bottom, and I think that doesn't look too bad. Once I freaking find it. I'm not crazy, right? There was an FN key. A 1U FN. Am I just blind right now, guys? I might just be blind. I could have swore I saw a 1U FN key. I know this is taking forever. I'm sorry, you guys. What the heck? Alright, whatever. We'll just put another code there. I don't actually care, because I'm not going to use any of those anyways. Like, am I crazy? I swear I had a 1U FN key. Alright. Well, whatever. Use delete instead of plus? Oh, can I use... Do I have a row 3 delete? That's a thing, right? Where are you? Delete. Could do that. Well, that's row 2. I don't think I have a row 3 delete. The set just doesn't support... The set doesn't support this kind of column. I have a billion end keys, but that's about it. That's fine, though. This is fine, right? I don't have another row 3 key that I can put there. I just, like, straight don't. Unless I want to use, like, a numro key, which is, like, just as goofy as the plus, right? Could do... I have page down, but that's row 2. So these are both row 2. This is a row 3. Yeah, I think I just don't have the options. I think we just have to say F it. Not much more we can do there. I don't know if this set is going to stay on the board anyways. To be honest with you, I'll probably wind up swapping this out with Bingsu at some near future date. So I don't really care what's on the side of it. We're just going to do this. Sorry, guys. Delete is row 2. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Delete doesn't work. I mean, I guess I could just delete instead of end, but like, I don't really care. This set is just designed for less exotic layouts, I guess. Oh, there's the FN. I'm just stupid. It was part of the other... Oh, wait, hold on. No, I still don't... Oh, wait. Am I crazy? No. Okay. I'm just dumb. These were on the other board. I don't want to talk about it, chat. I don't want to talk about it. I totally forgot that there were more keys here that I took off the Tengu. I thought it was really, really strange that this didn't have 65% compat. Like, I feel like this set isn't that old. So I think we're good here. I think we're good. We can do row 2, page up. We can do row 3, page down, and then we can do FN. We'll do FN. I have the end. The end would work too, which is totally fine. But I'm not gonna do the end. So I don't really care. I don't feel like fishing it out of this bag. So I'm gonna trigger you guys and do FN apparently. All right, we're finally getting there. We're finally getting there. This is when Chi comes back and all is right in the world. Also, if you missed that portion of the stream, I do want to point out that I used a slightly differently lubed switch for the spacebar. It is still an Anubis switch, but it's lubed in such a way, accidentally, interestingly enough, to where it's a little too quiet at the very downstroke. There's just a tiny bit of lube on the pole, and that makes it like noticeably quieter. FN joined your Space Cadet queue. Well, thankfully not. Thankfully we found it. We got there. It was just in another spot. Alright, so you guys want to hear this board? Are we finally ready to hear this? Hopefully this doesn't sound awful. Don't call yourself dumb swathin'. That's fair. That's fair. For what it's worth, I don't really mean it. I think I'm relatively smart. Is that egotistical to say? That's a good layout. This works. This works, right? This is totally fine. This is totally fine. You guys want to hear this? I need to get ready for this. I know I just spent like 35 hours putting on keycaps. But I know this is what everyone's here for, and hopefully it doesn't disappoint. Again, Anubis switches, 69 gram symmetrical springs, rather, 69 gram. GMK white on black, brass plate, iron 165, good stuff. Music's paused. Okay. You guys ready for this? I'm ready. I need like a reference sound. I don't have like a, I'm terrible at snapping. I'm just like so bad at it. All right. I keep like the band of my watch keeps squeaking on my my wrist rest. Sorry, hold on, let me take this off. I can hear it, and I can just totally hear it messing up the sound. All right. I'm pretty happy I went with the dampened spacebar, because I feel like the spacebar is actually, like, really nice here. This feels really good, by the way. It's like, the tactility is so precise. Sounds fine, but not exciting. That's fair. If I'm being honest, it doesn't sound quite as good as I was expecting it to. But, I mean, I think a lot of that is also kind of attributed to like, what it's in, too. Right? Because, like, these will sound way different depending on what you put them in. This feels really good, though. Like, it feels really good. It kind of reminds me of, like, the first Holy Pandas. It kind of has, like, that kind of style. Oh, yeah, these switches will almost certainly sound better in a carbon fiber plate. I would certainly not bet against that. Brass, maybe not the call here, but this is the only plate I have for this board, so... I think it's pretty good, actually. You're right, though. It does not sound as exciting as I might have been hoping for. But I think it does still sound pretty good, pretty clean. And honestly, it feels... What it might lack a little bit in this configuration and sound, I think it really does make up for in feel. Like, it's so smooth, and it's so crisp. And that spring is really, 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 really sweet. I love that. It returns like it would be like a 78 gram or maybe even a heavier spring, but like when you press it, it feels like a 69 gram spring. Do you need a CF plate for your iron? You have one? Yeah, I would happily buy one from you. Yeah, absolutely. I could just redo this. I could redo this with a CF plate and see what happens. A CF plate will probably sound better. I think brass plates tend to, like, never sound good, if I'm being honest. Like, not never sound good, but I feel like they always sound a little lacking to me. The spring does make it feel more powerful. It makes it feel more accurate, too. I feel like this is... Like, the tolerances on the Switch actually feel, like, really good already, but, like, that comboed with the spring, I feel like it's one of those switches where, like, you have to kind of hit it in the center. Like, it's kind of hard to hit from, like, an off angle, right? Like, the tactility is really strong. It's a lot of bump. I'm pretty happy with this. But I think you guys are right. I would like to see this with a carbon fiber plate, too. Because I think it'll feel relatively similar. But it'll probably sound a lot more, like, crisp. A lot more poppy, you know? Yeah, the sound is really clean. There's no reverb, there's no ping. It just sounds like a really clean, professional board. Sounds significantly better in brass than the Moyus with the PBD housing. Yeah, well, the Moyus didn't really sound very good originally anyways, right? Like, that was kind of, maybe not a problem of it, but it was, like, kind of a thing. Which is fine. I know it's not a big deal, whatever. These, wow, I really like the feel of these. And now I just really want to swap out the plate for carbon fiber. You really got me fiending. If you have one, we'll do this journey together, right, guys? We'll swap the plate out. But I really love this configuration, though. I love these switches, and I love these in this board. Just maybe not the brass plate. The brass plate might not have been the perfect call. Obviously, it's still good. It feels great. And I do think a switch like this kind of benefits on a stiffer plate. But I think carbon fiber might be the answer. Rebuild. Yeah, we'll see. If I can get my hands on a carbon fiber plate, I'd love to stream a rebuild of this using the same switches and stabilizers and keyboard and stuff. This came out pretty well though. The spacebar is like assertive, but it's also like really deep still. It's like a really like quiet. It's like an assertive, but still kind of dampened thump. Wow, this does feel great though. My gosh, it actually feels better. So it sounds a little bit worse than I was expecting. It feels better than I was expecting. And sometimes you take that trade-off, especially when you could probably improve the sound with a different plate. God, this is good, though. I'll have to buy more of these switches, too. I'll check for tomorrow for the carbon fiber plate. I'm pretty sure I got one. Might have been forged carbon fiber, can't remember. Yeah, totally fine. I could probably always ask Jay as well. I'm sure he probably has some already cut if I had to guess. Next on deck, Chewy presumably saying, "Now I am not there in person, but it could also be how it sounds with gaskets." Maybe. I mean, because of that nylon housing, it does have like a deeper kind of sound, right? It's not necessarily going to be like outrageously loud like some other switches. But I don't know. I mean, it feels wonderful though. It sounds more dampened, at least through my speakers, but sound through speakers is such a move. Yeah, that's the. I mean, and it's like my mic too. My mic is not very good. Like it's certainly not very good for typing tests either. Twitch compression. You know, to take your bet. There's so many variables. But I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I would definitely try it with different plates, but I think as far as the Switch is concerned, I'm quite happy with it. All sound tests are a lie. Yep, I completely agree. I honestly, genuinely agree, and I tell people that. Okay, cool. So we got the build completed there. If you guys have any questions, do let me know. And while you potentially think of any questions, I do want to quickly draw your attention very briefly to something I got in just the other day. Something I've been kind of searching for. For some of you, this might not be very exciting at all. For others, it could be very exciting. For me, this is pretty exciting. But I got a Bakaneko in. And I'm not going to build it or do anything with it today, other than kind of just show you guys that I have one. So this is pretty cool. I got a Bakaneko kit in my preferred color, which was the Aqua, which is like a super light blue. Little Cannon Keys action here. So for those of you that are unaware, this is a very inexpensive custom keyboard kit, which is why it's super interesting to me. It doesn't necessarily do anything new, but it does offer a lot of interesting features for a honestly very, very low price. So I think the kit is like $130, and it comes with a cast aluminum case, which has been painted. Not the greatest finish, I will admit, but definitely good enough for something like this. Comes with a hot swap PCB. It comes with an FR4 plate, and it's gasket mounted in the gummy worm fashion. So and it also has a USB-C daughter board. Pretty positive it's in VIA as well. So a lot of really, really nice features for a pretty inexpensive price. So it uses one of these bands. This goes around the kind of plate PCB assembly. Then it kind of just sits in here. Alongside these kind of raised lips, as it were. Pretty much the same as you'd see in something like a TGR Singa Unicorn, as well as some other boards in the past that have seen kind of similar mounting styles. But this will be an upcoming stream as well. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys that, because I'm kind of excited about this as well. I have no idea what I'm going to put in there, but I'll probably lube some kind of switches for it. Hot swap PCB. Standard layout, unfortunately, but hey, you gotta pick your battles sometimes. And at $130, I can put up with a standard layout. Especially when it includes stabilizers. Like, it actually includes stabilizers, too. Good price. And the case. The case came with it, too. Good price. Might not be the most interesting or fanciest board in the world, but my gosh, if this is what $130 can get you, kind of moving forward into the future of keyboards, I don't see a problem there. Maybe want to try Anubis. Yeah, you guys should definitely try these switches, honestly. Like, I guarantee you can get better sound results than what I achieved today. I thought this was going to be, like, pretty good in terms of sound, but I guess it's just been a while since I've used brass plates. I feel like they just don't really get a certain sound that I'm going for. But it is also fairly dampened by the gaskets, I think, as well. Sounds super clean still. I like it. But yeah, we'll try a carbon fiber plate if I can get my hands on one. Potentially other plates if I can get my hand on other plates as well. Should be a pretty good time. So yeah, of course I'll use this for at least a week, and then we'll check in again with some kind of more final concrete thoughts about this at the start of next week's stream, which will probably be Monday. So I'll use this over the weekend, and then we'll get some final thoughts on this. I'll let you guys know how that's going, and then hopefully on Monday. I'm not 100% sure on what I'm building. I still need to loosen switches, but I'm hoping to get the switches done for my Heine TKL, so I can do the Heine TKL on Monday, because that was actually supposed to be done this week, but I didn't get to that because I got the Anubis switches instead, and I was really excited to use them. So sorry about that, guys, but Heine TKL coming soon. I'm going to be lubing up some lavenders. We'll use symmetrical springs in those too, 58 gram, and that should be a freaking lovely build as well. It should be super, super vibrant and lively and poppy. It's going to have an FR4 plate. It's going to be a spectacular build, so definitely make sure to join me on Monday as well. Upas is putting up good work. Yeah. Thanks for the stream. I need to try these 69 kinetics and Anubis for sure. Yeah, J-Chef, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you'll like them. I like them quite a bit. Holy crap, now that's a real man's beard. It's certainly a beard. It needs some work, but it's getting there. Do Bakaneko with regular GATs? Maybe. I don't know. I've been kind of put off regular GATs for reasons I mentioned earlier. At least for right now. I was just kind of let down about the most recent batch of Gateron Blacks that I got. They just weren't that good. But I'll have other switch options as well. We'll do Lavenders and the Heine TKL. We'll figure out something to put the Bakaneko in. Actually, I do have some of the full nylon Gateron linears, some Gateron yellows here. So maybe I'll do these. These don't feel quite as bad as the Gateron Blacks that I had that I was trying to lube. So these could be cool. Kind of the opaque housing Gateron yellow, opaque black housing, PCB mount, full nylon. I could do that in the Bakaneko. That could look pretty good. It could sound pretty good as well. What do you guys think? Does that work? We'll find something. We will find something. Don't worry. It's not a beard, it's a work of art. You're too kind, man. You're too kind. Hope you're doing well, Plop. Like the unicorn? Yep. Yep, pretty similar. You just use those on one of your layered boards you made. They came out super nice. The nylon Gaterons? The full nylons? The KS3s, I think they are. I mean, they definitely seem pretty cool. I like full opaque housing switches for Gaterons. I've always found those preferable, honestly, to like all the other variants, except for maybe inks. Got them. Yeah, I got mine from Canyon Keys as well. Okay, cool. The wrist rest is the centerpiece of the streams. oh, Plop says he likes it. Yeah, thank you. I love this wrist rest. And it actually looks so much better when I'm using 65%, since that's what it's sized for. Because normally I use like a 60%. So like it actually goes over like a little bit on the right side, which is always kind of obnoxious. But definitely looks a lot better when in its proper size. So there you go, guys. Iron 165, Anubis switches, brass plate, GMK white on black. Came out pretty well. Little Smith and Rune love there. We love the Smith and Rune guys. Shout out to them. Truly lovely, lovely build. Well, I'm going to be looking for someone to raid here, and if you guys have any last minute questions, please feel free to ask away while I look for someone to raid. Also, if you have any suggestions for people to raid, let me know. I try to raid people with lower viewer counts, which I know is sometimes hard. But if there's people on with lower viewer counts, we try to pump those numbers too. There's a lot of really great streamers in this community, honestly, and a lot of them get way lower viewers than what we have right now, even. So, we gotta try to support some good people, I see Keeb Noob on. We've raided her a couple times. Basic is streaming as well. Could probably raid her. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna browse the Maker's channel real quick. Protect the wrist, attack with the fingertips. Yeah, I know Keeb Noob is live, but we raid Keeb Noob actually pretty often. Probably more than anyone else. I don't think we've raided Basic. We should probably raid Basic. We'll raid Basic, because I don't think we've ever raided her. Also, I think Keeb Noob is playing games, but Basic is doing keyboard stuff. Yeah, nothing against Keeb Noob. Keeb Noob's great, but I think we should raid a keyboard streamer. Well, alright guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you had a good time, as much as I did. Very happy with how this came out. And yeah, so lots more streams coming up actually. So tomorrow we'll be live at 1 p.m. Pacific. I'll be with my co-host Jay, and we'll be talking about some keyboard stuff. I actually have no idea what we're talking about yet because I'm terrible and haven't thought ahead for a topic. But hey, sometimes it's just how it goes. But yeah, we'll be live at 1 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, and then I might do something on Saturday, unsure, but we'll see. And then on Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, I'll be back with this kind of saga or anthology or series, whatever you want to call it, Mental Health Monday, except it'll actually be on Monday, not a Thursday. So yeah, and then we'll figure out what we're doing. It'll be good stuff. So yeah, definitely feel free to join me for that. Thank you all so much for all the love. You guys are awesome. Let's go show some love to Basic Builds. We'll get set up for this raid. Please come along with me, and we'll say something wholesome. We gotta bring the love elsewhere, right? Spread the love. Because it has a bigger impact on our community than you think. It really does. Alright, so I'm gonna queue up this raid, guys. Let's go over and say something nice. Thank you all so much once again. Hope to see you tomorrow, and then again on Monday, and even Saturday if I'm going to be streaming. Still unsure on that, but I'm trying to stream a lot more. I'm trying to do a lot more things, a lot more variety. I am planning on bringing back Behind the Keyboard too. For anyone, I know quite a few people that were really excited about that, and some people didn't care, but that's totally fine. But yeah, Behind the Keyboard coming back soon as well. It should be a really good time. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's go over and say something wholesome. Have a good one, guys.